Hey guys, what's going on? Well, I wanted to do a vlog today and talk about a question that I've gotten quite a bit, and I know a lot of you guys have gotten before, and so I want to try to answer that. It's why do DJs charge more for weddings than they do parties, school dances, and other events? I've seen this question asked on a lot of other DJ forums, and a lot of people asking this question. They want to know why that is, and so I'm going to answer that for you the best that I can today here in this vlog. Now, before I get to that, though, I want to introduce myself to those of you who don't know me. Maybe you just landed on this video by doing a search on YouTube, and you've never really checked out this channel, but my name is Stacey Noles. I'm a mobile DJ at SNDJ Entertainment in Pensacola, Florida. I'm also the owner and entertainment director, and we've been in business now for almost 18 years. It's going to be 18 years this August of 2021, so I'm really proud of what we've accomplished over the past 18 years, and basically the whole point of this channel is just share knowledge. Now, whether you're a bride and groom looking for a DJ, or maybe you're a DJ just starting out, you're going to get some information that I know will be definitely helpful to you. So I try to, share my knowledge of events and things that I've learned over the years, and I just try to give you some nuggets here or there to, take home with you and to understand. But now you can check out my channel and be sure and go and subscribe so you'll be able to keep up to date on all the latest content. Go to the playlist. We got plenty of wedding gig log videos there where we actually take you along to weddings that we've actually performed at, so if you'd like to see that. We've also got more vlogs. We've got other events as well, so even videos from our Las Vegas trips that we've gone to when we've gone out there for the conventions. So be sure and check that out if you're interested in mobile DJing. We got all kinds of videos right here on my YouTube channel going all the way back to 2008. So be sure and like and subscribe, and you can be kept up to date on all the latest content of this of our YouTube channel. So we do appreciate you being here. Now the question is, why do DJs charge more for weddings than they do parties and school dances? And really the short answer to that is real simple. The main reason is because there's not a whole lot of planning that goes into to school dances, parties, and fundraising events and things like that, like there is for weddings. For example, let's say I've been hired to do like a 16th birthday party or a 50th wedding anniversary or something like that. Well, there's not a whole lot of planning that goes into that, like as far as planning an agenda and all that kind of stuff. I mean, basically, whenever somebody hires me to do a 16th birthday party or a wedding anniversary party or maybe even a prom or something like that, basically it's just music from start to finish. That's usually what we do. And we may have to stop, make an announcement here or there, maybe announce a prom king and queen or something like that. But other than that, it's just pretty much straight music for most of the event. And that's usually the way it works with that. So that's why you're not really going to see us charging as much for those events as we would, say, a wedding. Now, weddings, on the other hand, do take a lot of planning and preparation because in addition to being the DJ, we also serve as the entertainment director, the day of entertainment coordinator at the reception, and there's a lot more planning, there's a lot more involvement, and a lot more time, so naturally there's going to be a difference in price when it comes to that. I always try to compare it to taking your car to the mechanic. Let's say you take your car to the mechanic. Well, your mechanic, he doesn't have an all price, fits everybody mentality on that. For example, you're not going to pay the same price to have your engine rebuilt if you just simply need an oil change. It's kind of the same thing with me being a mobile DJ. We're going to, it's not going to cost as much for a simple event as it would a wedding because there's a lot more involvement when it comes to weddings. So that's kind of an analogy I try to illustrate that. But now let's talk about what all goes into planning a wedding reception, because a lot of people just think that mobile DJs just show up at a wedding and then they just play music for a few hours, break down, and then leave, or they think that what they see at a wedding reception is all we do. And really the truth is that we do a lot more than that. And actually what you see at a wedding reception, when you see us there at a wedding reception, I try to tell everybody that that's actually the finished product after many, many hours of planning and preparation have gone into that. And I've had some brides and grooms even ask me, they'll say, well, we only need a DJ for like 4 hours, so how much would that cost and stuff like that. Well, for that 4-hour wedding reception, there's many, many hours of planning that has to go in to get that 4 hours of planning and preparation ready before we do that. And there's, of course, a lot more labor and a lot more everything else that happens. So there's a lot more that goes into it than that 4 hours that you would see us performing at a wedding reception. And for example, part of my duties as being a mobile DJ is that I help the bride and groom actually plan out the reception. I give the brides and grooms all the forms that they need, which they can fill out online. That's a reception information form and a ceremony information form where they can list not only their music, but all the events that they want. Who's going to do toast, who's going to do everything else, like the bouquet throw, garter toss. They get get to list all that, and what we do is we put all that together on a written planner and an agenda, and then I send it back to the bride and have her approve it. She can look it over it, and once it's, the planner is how she likes it, I then send it out to all her other vendors so that they know what we're going to do and when we're going to do it. And we've also added ceremonies in there as well. A lot of times we have the brides who want us to do their ceremony as well, so we'll provide music and sound for their ceremony. So that's another thing that we added to the planner. So yeah, there's a lot more planning that goes into wedding receptions and wedding events than there are for other events. And then another thing is that we serve as their on-site wedding reception entertainment director by making sure the reception runs smoothly. Like for example, what I normally do is I make sure I check with each vendor at the reception. And the first thing I'll do is first of all check with the bride and groom. Like let's say it's getting close to the end of dinner time, I'll go and talk to the bride and groom, and I'll say, okay, it looks like most people finished eating. Do you guys want to do your toast and cake cutting in about 10 minutes? And then the bride will say yes, and that way she's got time to go run to the bathroom or she needs to do something. That's always good. And then I'll go check with the photographer and let them know. I'll say, okay, I'm going to give you a heads up. We're going to be doing our toast and our cake cutting in about 10 minutes, and then I'll get on the microphone and I'll let their guests know. And so I serve as their director by letting them know, when we're going to be doing things and keeping up on that. That's part of our job. And and I've had a lot of brides and grooms and even wedding coordinators tell me that they love how I actually do that and offer that service. So yeah, there's a lot more that goes into a wedding reception than than just playing music. So that's why we do a lot of planning and preparation. Now, how much time do we actually put into a wedding reception when it comes to planning and preparation, or even a wedding day in general? And so I'm kind of going to explain that to you real quickly. And I'm going to take this last wedding that I did a couple weeks ago as an example. Well, first of all, I had to meet with the bride and groom. We actually had a meeting over Zoom when they first hired me a few months ago, and we talked about everything, had their consultation, and then they sent me all the information as it got closer to the wedding, the forms that we talked about, and I typed everything up on a written planner, sent it back to the bride. She went ahead and looked it over, made sure everything was like she wanted it, and then as soon as it was like she wanted it, I went ahead and sent it out to all her other vendors. So, like I said, that takes some time, and I'm in my office working on that, and that takes a lot of time. So really, in reality, when it comes to a wedding, probably anywhere between 15 and 30 hours is, probably the amount of time that we'll put into one wedding when you talk about the first consultation all the way till we load the last piece of equipment into our vehicle at the very end of the reception. But, I spent all that time, working on that and making sure I had all the music that she wanted and all that stuff in my office before, we ever even get to the venue. Now, wedding day, let's talk about that. Saturday morning. What did I normally do on that? Okay, well, on this particular wedding that I did a couple weeks ago, I woke up around 8:30 that morning. I fixed some coffee. I was in my office here at my house, the Oval Office, at about 9 o'clock. And I started getting all my computers out, which I always do. I'd already made sure that the music was in there, but I always double check and triple check to make sure that I've got all the music. I get the planner out and I go through it, and in each one of my computers, I've got 3 computers. I've got 2 main computers and a backup computer, and I make sure that I've got all the music that's listed right there on that planner, and it's all in all 3 computers. And like I said, I double and I triple check that on the morning of the wedding just to make sure that I haven't overlooked anything. So that's normally what I do. So I've got my main computer, I've got a backup computer, and I've got a backup for my backup. So again, 3 computers, but I make sure all the music is there and everything else. I make sure that everything's good to go. And I usually load my equipment on Friday night, so my equipment was already loaded in my van, so I didn't have to worry about doing that. And usually on Saturday morning, I'm spending some time, like I said, working on that, making sure that everything's ready to go. And then, I go ahead and take a shower and get ready. And in that particular wedding, I left my house at 1:30. I had about an hour and a half drive to get there. And I usually stop off at a fast food place on my way and run through a drive-thru and get something to eat and just eat it on the way as I'm on the way to the wedding. Well, anyway, I got to the wedding venue at about 3 o'clock that afternoon and went ahead and got set up. And of course, it took me about 2.5 hours or so, well, a little over 2 hours, I'd say, to go ahead and get everything set up, because this particular bride and groom actually chose my package that includes the uplighting, the monogram, and a second sound system for the ceremony. So once I got there, it took me at least 2 hours to get all that set up. And once I've gotten all that set up, then I have to go and change. Once I've gotten the background music ready to go for the ceremony, I usually go and change into my suit or whatever I'm normally going to wear. And by that time, it was already about 5:30, which is the time that I want to start my music, my background music, because the ceremony was supposed to start at 6. And I always try to make sure that we got the background music and everything ready to go by at least 30 minutes ahead of time. Okay, 6 o'clock rolled around. We went ahead and did the ceremony, and then as soon as the ceremony was over with, I broke down the smaller ceremony sound system and went back into the reception, and then the reception began immediately after, and it went till 10 p.m. that night. So again, I was working throughout the entire reception, making sure that everything was running smoothly, making sure everything was running, the way the bride wanted to. I was checking with the bride and groom and the other vendors, and it was a really nice event. And the bride and groom at the end of the night told me that everything just went perfectly, and even the wedding coordinator even told me that too. So anyway, 10 o'clock rolls around. It's time for the bride and groom's final dance. So we go ahead and do that. And then at that point, after the bride and groom do their departure, I then have to go change out of my suit, and I get back into my roadie clothes, I call it, and go ahead and break down everything. And of course, it took me about an hour and a half, close to it, to break everything down and pack everything up and move it out to my car. So I was getting out of there, I think, around 11:40 on Saturday night. So we ended the reception at 10. It was 11:40, and then I had to drive home. So I ended up stopping off at Whataburger on my way home to get something to eat, because I was still hungry after I got done with all that. And I got home around 1:30 in the morning. So that kind of gives you a timeline of what it's like on the wedding day. I mean, the wedding day itself, I woke up at 9 o'clock that morning, or 8:30 that morning, and then I didn't go to sleep until at least 1 o'clock later on that night. So you can see how long it takes, and that's why we charge more for weddings than we do parties and school dances, because we do put a lot more time in. And like I said, it's not just that 4 hours that you see us at the reception. There's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes. So anyway, I hope that kind of answered your question for you. And if you do have a question, you can always drop me a personal email. My email address is right there on the screen. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. And if you'd like to call me up and we could do a phone consultation or video consultation, if you're a bride and groom looking for a DJ, I'll be glad to go over a sample outline with you, and we can talk more about that. And we'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. So feel free to reach out. And if you're another DJ as well, feel free to reach out. So thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And if I can help you out in any way, please let me know. Until next time, practice and enjoy.
It's a beautiful night. We're looking for something dumb to do. Hey baby, I think I wanna marry you. Is it the look in your eyes, or is it this dancing juice? Who cares, baby? I think I wanna marry you. Well, I know this little chapel on the boulevard we can go. No one will know. Oh, come on, girl. Who cares if we're trash? Got a pocket full of cash.